Hello everyone, I hope everybody is doing great. Today I've got a request from a subscriber that they are trying to do pipe repair simulations and they want to plot pressure as a function of hoop strain. If you're not familiar with pipe repair, how to construct a model of a pipe repair in ABAQUS, I already have a video which is shown on the top as well. So that was for a composite wrap. So if you want to do similar sort of simulation and then you want to plot, let's say, how the strains look like as a function of pressure, and then this video will tell you that. If you really are looking for that, then please continue. So in this paper which they have sent is a paper where they have done experiments as well as simulations. They put the strain gauges in the critical areas near the defect, and then they measure the strains based on the strain gauges, and then they plot based on the applied as a function of applied pressure the hoop strain. So hoop strain is measured through strain gauges, and pressure is already applied, so you already know what pressures you are applying on the experiments, and same you can do in the simulation as well. And most probably user already has these plots from experiments and they want to compare them with ABAQUS model. So what they have done, they have sent me the model here. So this is how the model looks like, and it's very similar to what I constructed for my case as well. And this paper also is about that. If you are really interested, you can also look at this paper as well if you learn more about that, what they did. It's a thin wall structures paper in 2019, and they're trying to investigate the behavior of steel pipelines with composite repairs, analyzed using experimental and numerical approaches. Okay, so I'm not going to go into the details of the technicalities because I already have a detailed tutorial on that, and I told you the video already on the top. So, but I will quickly go through it. There are components here. So there is a pipe, then they are repairing it with composite and or putty. And then in the properties, they have, this is also composite properties. Then these are the pipe properties. So these are similar to steel properties most probably. And then putty as well, which is this value. So again, I'm not checking anything, and obviously they must have assigned it everything to their respective parts. Then assembly looks like this. So you have a pipe, then you have a repair portion, and then you have the wrap around it. So there are three components I told you before. Stepwise, it's a static general step with 1 second of simulation time, interactions, most probably there might be tie constraints among the surfaces, and I don't see any other contact properties because everything is tied together or bonded together. Load wise, there seems to be a internal pressure which is applied, which is up to 50 megapascals. And then most probably the displacement boundary condition around the edges. So this looks pretty much trivial. There are no initial conditions, most probably, yes. And then mesh wise, it looks like it's a very coarse mesh and it's going to take a long time. So I will just run the simulation for a short time, and then I will show you in between how it really works. So now if I go to the job manager, then I already started running this model. And if I show you the progress of the model, so it is almost at half of the simulation is being done, and it's already more than half hour. So because my system is already overloaded with other things, so I'm gonna kill this job now for the time being, and I will show you in the post-processing how you can plot pressure as a function of hoop strain. Again, hoop strain is in the cylindrical coordinates, so we will have to define a new coordinate system as well. I think I have made a video on that as well, but just in case you can learn something new as well. So let's go to the results plot, and you see some stresses, and it's already, you see a lot of deformation going on there. Most probably it's amplified, so they have to use some kind of a scaling factor, but it doesn't look that worse. So let's say if the strain gauges were here or there, and you want to plot, compare your strain gauges with that, so you need to know the location in the model where you want to do it. So let's say I will do everything in this one of these elements here, because these will be the mostly stressed elements. Also, if you don't want to do it on composite, you can do it on pipe. So you can just remove the composites from here. This parts, composite. Let's remove this, and then you only are left with the, let's say, steel repair or putty, whatever you have. So let's look into this. Let's say I will plot from somewhere here. We'll see. It's really relevant because it depends on your strain gauge location, but we will do that. But first thing is we need to see the coordinate system they have used. So in this case, if we plot the stresses, and you see the stresses are actually like this. So S11 is in the XX direction, which is this direction. S22 is in Y direction, and S33 will be in the Z direction. Okay, so now what you see is, as I told you, S11 is X direction stresses, Y direction, Z direction, and then shear components. And in order to have hoop, radial, and longitudinal stresses and strains, we need to create a coordinate system, which is cylindrical coordinate system. So what we can do is, we can go to tools, and if I can find it, coordinate system manager, and we don't have any coordinate system here, as you can see. So we can create one, and in this case we will select a cylindrical coordinate system. And in this case, what I'm going to do, I'm going to select 3 nodes on a circle, because that's the easiest way for a circle to do that. But you can also select based on your own 3 nodes as well, if you want to align the radial direction along certain axes. I will just bring maybe XY, and I will change the view to flatter one, so I can easily select. Now if I again press create, cylindrical, 3 nodes on the circle. Now I'm going to select 3 nodes, one here, and one here. So you see now radial direction is this is the theta direction, and Z is the longitudinal direction. So if I plot back everything, then you can see radial, theta direction, and then the longitudinal direction. Now we need to transform all these results, which are currently in the global coordinate system, to the local coordinate system, which is a cylindrical one. So you go to the results, options, and here you do transformation and select a user specified coordinate system, which is this one. You can also plot in terms of the orientation one of the composite, but I'm going to go with this one. So when I change it, now my S11 will be, you can see the colors have changed. S11 will be the radial stress, and then S22 will be the hoop stress. As you see, everything is tensile, everything is expanding, while thickness, if you look at S11, it started from negative towards the positive, because if you're applying pressure from inside, so internally you will have compression, and then as you move out radially, it will become tension. And then S33 is the longitudinal stress, and so on. So now in this case, similarly for strain as well, if you look at the longitudinal strain, the user has asked for the strain. Yep, okay. So let me confirm again that these are also plotted in terms of a user specified system. So you see epsilon 11, epsilon 22, which is always tension because it's expanding, epsilon 33. So what we need is a hoop stress, which is epsilon 22. So what I will do now, let's say if my strain gauge was somewhere here, so I will go to the tools, data manager, create field output, and then I will select whatever quantity I need. In this case, let's say epsilon 22, which is the hoop stress. And I can also plot, for example, pressure as well from here, or if the pressure is a loading condition, then you can plot from there as well. And then plot. I need to select an entity. Select, let's say if the strain gauge was here, I select this one. Plot. And you see how it looks like. This is the plot for strain. This is the plot for pressure. Okay, so let's see how it looks like now. I will just save this, save as. So what I can do, I can also here I can do apply all the operations as well, or I can just say save the absolute values, because some of them I can see negative, but in the actual plot it's always positive because everything was tensile. Both of them are tensile. Now I have done that. Again, it's your choice. I'm just saying random stuff here. So this is the epsilon 2, and this is pressure. So we need pressure on vertical axis and strain on and hoop strain on horizontal axis. So I'm going to say operate on XY data, combine horizontal axis, it's strain, vertical axis pressure, save. If I plot now this, then my plot looks something like this. So as the hoop strain is increasing, my pressure, this time it's pressure, so pressure is increasing. This is one way of doing it if you're not really sure about the pressure which you're getting for that specific element, because pressure is generally the trace, the trace of the stress tensor, and you are applying a pressure of, let's say, you go to the loads and you're applying a load of 50 megapascal, which is ramped over a total of 1 second. I go to the step, the total time is 1 second. So what I can do is I can go back to the visualization. I can look into the XY data again, and here I already got the strains, which is this. Obviously when they go up, they will try to go down or whatever, as you see in the graph as well. Let's say this is the data, so it's a time as a function of strain, right, which is this one. So I can go and open Excel or whatever, or any other plotting software, take the data, and for pressure, so this is time, this is strain, and now I will put pressure here. So pressure is, total pressure is 50, so it will be delta T times 50. So initially the pressure is this and it's ramped up, so as you go towards this, so now pressure is 25 plus half, and let's say if it is 1, if the time is 1, then it should be 50. So this is how it ramped. So but we didn't let it finish and we stopped, did all the post-processing at half of the simulation. So that's what we see there. Now if I want to plot these two, I will go there, plot something like this, and you can see this is strain, hoop strain, and this is the pressure. If you want, you can try to see. So again, there is a difference here between the component of stress which is computed for that specific element as compared to the pressure which is the applied one, because the pressure in the element is computed based on the stress definition. So S11, S22, and S33, it's this the trace, right, of the stress tensor. So I would suggest to, if you are applying a boundary condition, and in this actual experiment also they compared with the experiments, so you see you should compare it with that, and this is how it looks like. So this is your hoop strain as a function of pressure. I hope it made sense and I was able to convey what was asked. If it's not clear, then the same subscriber or anyone else can comment below and I will try to clarify things as well. If you find any mistake, that's also fine. Just let me know and I will try to correct it as well, but I just made it in a quick time. So all the best. If you have any question, then feel free to get in touch. Bye for now. Take care.